Hello cello students, lesson 12, page 15 here, starting off with a quick little tune in your book on page 15. I'm going to let y'all guess which one this is. So that's a Mozart melody, Twinkle Little Star, as most of you know, exercise 43. Now I want to point out there, the reason I'm looking at the music there, of course I have that one memorized by now, but I'm looking at the music pretty closely because I just wanted to check for the brackets. So the brackets are showing you which fingers should be held down for your level. So that's just in the middle there, that first finger. You're going to want to hold that down while you play open A. So make sure you're keeping your fingers really curved so that they're not touching the strings behind them. All right, a little bit about key signature today. We're going to be working towards having all of our sharps or flats. We haven't learned flats yet, but we'll get to that. We're going to work towards having all of those in the key signature to keep the music nice and clean so it doesn't get confusing. All right, so starting off here, we have on the bass clef, F sharp and C sharp. You'll notice that's in the same spot that the note is. So remember, all cows eat grass. So all cows, you have C sharp. And then Great Big Dreams for America. So F is sharp there. Now, I do want to mention real quickly, I messed up that sharp there, but I do want to mention real quickly, the treble clef, the sharps will look a bit higher. That's just because the notes on the treble clef is a different set of notes. So over here we have Great Big Dreams for America. Over here we have Every Good Boy Does Fine. So then F is up here on top, and then the word face goes across. So we have F-A-C-E. So that is the third space where you get the C sharp. So that looks a little bit different. May be important for you to know later on. So here's our D scale. The notes that have the little red star beside them, those are the ones that are actually sharps now in the D scale. Without having sharps beside them, the sharps are now put in what we call the key signature. So they're put at the beginning to keep the music nice and easy to read for later on. So now y'all should be going ahead and working on your D scale daily, very slow, making sure you're getting each note in tune, and then all the way back down. Okay, and then on to our new songs now. For Matthew's March and Christopher's Tune, you'll notice there's no sharps beside the C's or the F's or anywhere else in the song except in the key signature. So the key signature shows that we have all F's sharped and all C's sharped. So I'm just going to demonstrate these. I'll say the letter names as I go. This is exercise 44. D, D, C sharp, C sharp, D, D, A, rest. D, D, C sharp, C sharp, D, B, A, rest. G, G, A, G, F sharp, G, F sharp, E, E, A, E, D, 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 rest. So watch those little brackets in there that show you where to keep your fingers down. Make sure your fingers stay really curved so they're not touching any of those strings behind. If you have trouble with that, you need to work on curving your fingers and doing the finger warm-ups like this that I showed you in previous lessons. And those are going to really help. All the different ones, the tapping and the strumming, all the different finger exercises I show you there will help you if you're having trouble staying in tune, having trouble pressing the string down, and also having trouble with touching strings behind, having your fingers too flat and stuff like that. So those are really helpful. Okay, on to Christopher's tune. There's a little bit of back and forth between notes here, so you gotta watch this one carefully. 1, 2, ready, go. D, F sharp, D, F sharp, E, F sharp, G, rest. And it goes back and forth again, except now it's E, G, F sharp, G, A, rest. F sharp, A, F sharp, A, G, A, B, rest. A, B, C sharp, D, rest. Okay, so that one, it has a lot of back and forth, like D, F sharp, and then it goes back and forth with E, G, and then it goes back to the F sharp and the A. So all of that, you really have to make sure that you're keeping your fingers where they need to go. So that's why there's that bracket there when we need to do the F sharp and then to the A. And then, all right, so if we were to do F sharp and then lift off to do A, then you'd have to find that F sharp again. And it might not be as in tune as your first one was. So that can cause inconsistency. So it's great to stay there so that you get everything in tune and keep it sounding nice. All right, your last exercise, essential creativity. This is kind of like musical question, musical answer. Okay, so your musical question is what they have written already in the book. So it's D, F sharp, A, B, A, rest. And then you get to finish it off with whichever notes you want to, with the rhythm they have written above, and with the notes that you know. Okay, so don't go doing anything crazy. But the ones that I chose is just G, F sharp, E, rest, D, rest. And see how it sounds finished. So this is what we call our musical question. Sounds like there should be more to it. It's like kind of leaves us with a question mark there. And then this, sounds finished. So because we're using our D scale, we finish on D, and that's what we call the tonic. So whenever you're in a particular key, you finish on the tonic to make the song sound finished. That's what makes it sound finished. All right, so on from there, we are going to go ahead and take a short little glimpse at page 17. All right, and I want to give you 3 little exercises to work on. Exercise 49, 50, and 51. And I want y'all to especially notice the string level changes. So you'll just be doing A's. A's is where your elbow is about the same height as your shoulder. There. It's almost like a straight plane, but it is downward just a bit. So you can see as I'm playing the A string, it's pretty much as straight out. Now, a lot of beginners start to do this, and that's what gives them that crunchy sound on their A string. So you really want to relax the shoulder down, and you'll get a much better tone out of your cello. Then for D, you lower down just a bit. So there's D versus A. So you can see how much higher A is. And there's D. Okay, so the exercises, you'll just be going down, up, and then rest, 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 and then down to D. Rest, and then repeat. So on the rests, that's your chance to change string levels and make sure everything's normal in your shoulder and there's no tension going on. All right, so work on those 3 exercises. Each one progressively gives you fewer rests. until you're down to just one rest, and that's the one beat that you have to change string levels on. All right, so before we go, I just want to give y'all a quick tone study. Now, keep in mind, you should be practicing each day when you do your bow work. You should be practicing tone study number 1, which is long bows on open strings. So just playing slowly all the way down and then all the way up, focusing on your best tone possible and keeping your shoulder down, your elbow in the right position, and keeping everything really relaxed, checking your bow hold, all of that. And doing nice, slow, clean bows. Also remember on the A string, it may help to kind of pivot your cello with your knee back here. This knee may help to just pivot your cello just a bit so that you're not overcorrecting in doing this. So keep that shoulder down. And that's tone study number 1. So keep working on that one. And then the next one, tone study number 2, is bow lifts on open strings. Now there are several phases of this one. I'm just going to show y'all the first one. First one only uses the middle part of our bow because that's the least awkward part of your bow. So while you're still working on your correct bow hold and how to adjust to holding it and getting your elbow right, all of that, we're just going to do this first phase. You can even start on just like the G or the D strings, and those will be the easiest strings to practice this on. But I'll just demonstrate from all the way from C to A. So starting here, you'll start about here, and then you'll do your lift about here. So start, finish. Okay, so starting there, we go down, and then we lift. Down again, lift. Down, lift. And you can do that as slowly as you like. With as much space in between as you need to. With as much time in between as you need to. Okay, so you're just working on that circular motion. And then after you're good on that, feeling comfortable on that, go to the next string. Let the cello ring out. Let that tone come out. Really listen. Okay, and then on to your next string. Make sure that your elbow position is good and your shoulders down. That's how you get your best tone. And then on to the A. Remember, pivot a bit with your knee. Not crazy like that, but just a bit. Really got to relax on that one so it doesn't squeal on you. See? That's a squeal. So you really got to relax in, get into the string, and be just firm enough with it that it's going to give you a good tone. If you kind of are too light on it, it'll sound kind of hazy. Too heavy, it'll make it squeal. But in the middle is just right. Okay, so that's tone study number 2, first phase. So you can do as many of those as you like. For example, you can do like 1, 2, 3, or you could go up to 5, or as many as you feel like you need, and then change strings. And then you can go back all the way down. So starting on A, and then work on D, and then back to G, and then final C. All right. So really make sure you're focusing on the tone. This is why I call them tone studies, because a lot of the times when we're doing different exercises, like that one that we just did in the book where we're just doing like the back and forth, we're not really focused on tone there. We're just working on elbow position. So that exercise is not super important to sound really pretty. We're not really focusing on tone there. We're just going back and forth. And if it sounds like that, that's okay, because the main focus is here and here, okay? So there may be a little bit more pressure on the string because your focus point is kind of within the arm and the shoulder, but you do want to relax. We're not trying to make it sound ugly. You just want to keep keep your focus where it needs to be doing this type of thing, and not focusing too much on tone, because sometimes if you're really focusing like just on the tone, then maybe you might forget what you're doing up here. So we're kind of separating these different techniques. So in the book, on that page where we were doing the back and forth, focus on that, focus on keeping the arm correct, and then on the tone studies, really keep all of that correct form in mind, but really focus in on your tone and really listen for the tone, because that's what's going to make you sound more advanced much faster, and you'll be able to get rid of the beginner sound in your playing a lot quicker and sound like a more advanced player sooner on because of your tone. So y'all have fun with that and be practicing, because there's another lesson coming up soon. See y'all next time.